All right, keep this for posterity so you'll know in the future. But yeah, it sounded good. It's not boofy, baby.
All right. Yeah, I can look on my meter and see that it doesn't want me to be too close.
No, it sounded just a little too close. You were getting on the edge of boofy, baby.
All right, so we're gonna avoid the boofiness. Boofiness avoided.
It is non-boofy audio at this particular point in time. You're right where you want to be.
All right. So I'm gonna leave it like this. I got a little bit of homework to do, and then hopefully we'll be back. We'll be back in a little bit. They're 10-4 about them. Bagger will probably be here.
Yeah, 10-4, Roger. Well, I'm here because it is the Classic Radio Roundup warm-up session, and I had the time to be here, so I am here warming up my Classic Radio during the Classic Radio Roundup warm-up session.
Roger that. I'm all warmed up. My meters is looking good, so I'm gonna leave it like it is. 10-4.
Yeah, yep. Good to hear you on, and hopefully it won't be too long before you're back. So do what you got to do. Take care of the homework, and we'll be here holding down the fort on channel 1327, 115 on the radio dial.
All right. P73 Street. Catch you come later. Your night train, base station. I'm back right.
Countywide. This has been a public service announcement from your Classic Radio Roundup. 441, the Spitfire, a public service station. And no, I'm not oiling my chair. Not gonna have to deal with it. Classic Radio Roundup 27115 on the AM radio dial. Classic Radio Roundup. The warm up. Warm them up. If you got them, get them ready. Get them ready. It's almost time. County-wide. Oh, man. All right. 7:58. Where is everybody? Got 2 minutes and somebody better be making some noise. County-wide. Classic Radio Roundup 27. 115 on the AM radio dial. Channel 13.
Gee, mighty quiet.
Hiya, Renegade. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's 1 minute after the big hour at 8 o'clock on Channel 13 on Wednesday night, and it's the Classic Radio Roundup. At least I'm not by myself anymore.
Yeah, I got 3 minutes after, but that's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, I could get accused of playing with myself, and that wouldn't be good.
No.
So how you been? What's news?
Well, I figured I'd go down to McDonald's on Sunday, and it just about got back, and I got stopped by a cop here. My registration had expired, but I went right home. I had the application sitting right here on the coffee table, so I did it up, and I'm legal now. And then Monday I went down and had my photo done, so I have a new license now too. My driver's license expired.
Oh no, can't be letting all that stuff expire. You know you can renew the registration. You can renew all that online. You don't even have to use a stamp anymore.
That's what I did. The registration I did online. The photo card, I paid the fee, but never got the card to go to the photo center to have my picture taken. So I finally went down to Commonwealth Auto Tags, and they fixed me up with a new permit, and the new card arrived last week. So I went first thing Monday and had my picture taken and got a new license.
Yeah, that sounds like something fell through the cracks there. If you already paid your fees and you're sitting there waiting on the photo card and it never arrives, and of course it falls off your radar and you ain't thinking about it no more.
Well, that's what happened. I did that back in January last year and never got the photo card and forgot all about it till I noticed my license was going to expire. So, like I said, I went to Commonwealth Auto Tags and got that all straightened out. Got a new license with a new address on it and stuff. I'm good to go now.
Yeah, if you got to be able to get around, you got to be legal. Otherwise, it just creates other headaches. Now, if you're here in the country illegally, you don't need none of that stuff. But if you actually are a citizen and you live here, you absolutely need all that stuff.
I'm all legal now. I just had to take care of a couple little snafus that have cropped up there, and everything's good now. My car's registered, and I need the inspection. Probably in March, I think my sticker runs out. But that's no big. I still got a little bit of time yet. So I'm legal for now.
You should have just told the cop you were Waynero Roberto from Guatemala, and he would have said, "Oh, have a nice day."
Yeah, I should have done that. That would have been something else. Yeah, from Guatemala.
Yeah, why not? Works for them.
No hablo English.
That's right. That's just right. You know, if you're here illegally, you don't need none of that, pesky little, state required paperwork. You don't need it. But if you actually live here, you got to have it.
Yeah, well, like I said, a couple little things to take care of, and everything went okay, and I'm totally legal now.
Well, at least you got it done on Monday and weren't trying to get anything done yesterday. At least before noon, it was pretty messy, as you well know.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all at the photo place. There was like, probably when I walked in there was 10 people in there, but they had already gone to the counter and been taken care of. So like one at a time, they go up and have their picture taken. Next thing you know, it's my turn.
Yeah, I found the photo license places, on every, 4 or 5 years I get it done. They're usually pretty good about it. It's usually an in and out kind of situation. Never really had an issue.
Yeah, I think I had to wait around about a half an hour altogether, and I didn't think that was bad at all. I went to the photo center down in Norristown. I was there all freaking day.
No, I'll tell you, dealing with licenses and registrations in Pennsylvania is certainly a lot easier than when I lived in Virginia. And in Virginia, you had to deal with an actual DMV, none of these fast tag places or none of that. And every time you had to deal with the DMV, you can write off half a day.
Yeah, I believe that. The place in Norristown, I drove by it one morning, and there must have been 100 people in line out there. I'm like, screw this. I come back the next day, there's 100 people in line. I went by it again, and finally I went there one day, and there was about 10 people in line. I said, oh, I'm going to park my car. I'm getting in line.
Yeah, there's another one just down the road in King of Prussia. That one hardly ever seems to have anybody in it. And then there's one in Harleysville. The one I use that one in Harleysville. There's there's almost never anybody there.
Well, the new photo center is up on Shoemaker Road, and it's in that little shopping center right across from the Arby's, in the Kmart parking lot or Walmart parking lot. So it wasn't bad at all. Like I said, I was in and out in a half hour.
Well, that's all good news. All taken care of. It just occurred to me it's Valentine's Day. I wonder if Valentine's Day has superseded Classic Radio Roundup in the Sandbagger neighborhood.
Well, I don't have a Valentine, so I don't qualify this year.
Oh, I have one, but she works, tomorrow, so she's already headed, to the horizontal, relaxing and watching TV and getting ready to fall asleep soon. I don't have to leave for work till after 10 o'clock, so I got time to stretch.
Yeah, cool. I figured I'd get on here and at least key up this time.
Well, I'm glad you did key up. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here all by myself.
Yeah, there's nobody here on Sunday either. I was here till about 10 o'clock, and I finally shut it off because nobody came in at all on Sunday.
I came in on Sunday. I made some noise, waited, made some more noise, and then I said, well, that's it. Everybody must be watching the Super Bowl, and I left.
That must have been before I turned my radio on or something. Because I listened till about 10 o'clock, didn't hear anybody up until then. I must have missed you somehow.
Yeah, I came in about 8 o'clock until maybe 10 after 8 and figured, well, everybody's watching the Super Bowl, so I might as well go.
Yeah, I don't watch the Super Bowl, so that don't matter.
I don't watch the Super Bowl. I don't watch any football, bowls or otherwise. My wife don't watch it neither. Although she got into the football pool at work, and she won two of the 4 quarters in scoring for the blocks that she picked. She walked away with $250. Like, well, dinner's on you tonight.
Oh, well, that's not bad at all.
No, for a $15 investment, she walked away with $250. It's pretty good.
It was a worthy investment.
Yeah, you gotta like it when it works out like that. And she didn't even know she won. A friend of hers that she works with texted her, and you just won. She's won what? Oh, she was cracking up. Like, I ain't watching it.
That's like I went to this poetry reading with this girl one time over in Glenside, and we went into last minute, and they were selling raffle tickets, and I bought one. Here, I won the raffle.
Yeah, I don't get in on stuff because I never win. I never win. I give it a try every once in a while. I don't win. The only time I ever won anything in my life is, I don't know, probably 10 years ago now. We went down to Atlantic City to the casinos, and we went in, and I went to the slot machines. I started throwing some quarters in. I was there about 15 minutes, and I hit for $800. I grabbed the money. Well, it was the flashing lights went off, and they gave me a voucher, and I had to go to the window and cash it in. It didn't come out, out of the machine. $800 in quarters would have been too much. So anyway, I went and cashed in my voucher. I had $800. I went and found the wife and said, "We're leaving." She goes, "What do you mean we're leaving? We just got here." I said, "We're leaving. I want $800. Let's go spend it somewhere else and not lose it all here." She goes, "Oh, okay."
That was like me and Pat were on a cruise one time, and Pat was in the casino. It was up $1,200, and I told her, Pat, just put all that money in your pocket and take $50 and go the rest of the night on that $50. She said, no, I'm gonna risk it all. She blew the whole thing.
Yeah, I know better than that. I know better than that. Once I get ahead, the house is just going to take it back if I keep going. I'm never going to do better than what I just did, so it's time to go. Try another time.
Hey, I tried to get her to do that, but nah, she had to spend it, and it was vacation, and she was up all that money anyway. I just let her go.
Yeah, well, it's all entertainment money anyway. I mean, whatever money we decide to spend at the casino, if it goes, it goes, and we call that entertainment money spent. But we don't go past our limit. We don't go tapping the Mac machine again or anything like that. Put $100 or whatever in our pocket. When it's gone, it's gone. If we happen to get ahead, we keep playing until we lose it all again, and then it stretches it out. But if you hit something pretty sizable, it's time to just pocket that and leave.
I tried to talk her into that. It just didn't work. Yeah, she was up $1,200, and she had started out with $50 playing blackjack. And like I said, I told her to put that money in her pocket and take another $50, and she can gamble the rest of the night with that $50. And she was like, "No," she says, "I'm winning now." Yes, okay, you're right. The house took it.
Yep, famous last words. I'm winning now.
It would have been nice if she'd have put that in her pocket, because that would have paid for our vacation.
Yeah, well, you know how it goes. You saw it coming. If she didn't do it like you said, you knew it was going to disappear. And what happened? It disappeared. Could have walked with that money and done something else, or stretch out your gambling time a little bit longer and walk away with nothing.
Yeah, that's what she did. She gambled it all away. But like I said, we were on vacation, so it really didn't matter. And I only gave her $50 to start with, so even though she lost it all, she still had gained it.
Yeah, there was another time more recently. I was down in Aruba with the wife, and they had a little casino in the resort we were staying in, and I was playing blackjack, and I started out with $20, and then I got up to a couple $100, and the wife came along. She goes, "Okay, well, I want to go do something else now, or whatever it was, go see a show or whatever it was." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm winning. I'm up ahead." She goes, "Isn't that when it's time to quit?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I took my couple hundred that I made out of a 20 and walked away happy.
nice. Not bad at all. I liked Aruba. I was in Aruba for a day. We went to a place called Deep Palm Island, and it was like a little island right off the coast. But there was you could snorkel for miles, and that's what I did all day, snorkeling. That was a cool place.
Yeah, we were in Aruba for a week at a all-inclusive resort, and absolutely loved it. And the wife's been there a couple times with her girlfriend. I only went once, but or did I go twice? I think I went twice now. But anyway, yeah, I like Aruba. It's good vacation spot. The weather is always good. Doesn't matter what time of year, and it's south enough that the hurricanes never hit the place.
Yeah, well, I didn't have to worry. We were on a cruise, so we were just there for a day. And like I said, we went to a place called Deep Palm Island. It was run by a bunch of Portuguese people. It was cool.
I never heard of that island. Aruba itself is Dutch.
Yeah, I know. They had these Portuguese people that were running the concession stand at the island and stuff. So it was cool. I just snorkeled all day anyway. That's what I came there to do.
Yeah, somebody keeps testing the radio. Carrier up, carrier down, blowing in the microphone. I don't know if they're doing the roundup warm up and they're still testing, or what, they want to try and join the classic radio roundup. I don't know, but I don't know if you hear them or not, but I do.
I don't even hear him.
Oh, there he is. Brick, go ahead, Brigger.
Yeah, it's not me, but this is Mr. Fixer.
Hello, Mr. Fixer.
Fix it. How you doing?
Oh, Fixer. I know a Fixer. Maybe that's why I thought that's what you said. But hello. Welcome to the Classic Radio Roundup, Spitfire 441, the countywide radio.
Yeah, I was in here on Sunday on Sideband Sunday, and I didn't hear anybody.
Yeah, I must have missed both you guys, because I was in here at 8 till about 10 after, made some noise, didn't hear anything, so I left.
I wasn't watching the Super Bowl. I was watching some program with Taylor Swift.
Well, I wouldn't watch either one, the Super Bowl or Taylor Swift. Wouldn't watch either one of them.
You know, come to think of it, it might have been the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care for either one of them, to be honest.
Nah, I don't watch football. I ain't watching no millionaires playing a game.
Yeah, and then all the spectators think they got a vested interest or something, like they're all going to get paid if they win.
Yeah, I always thought that was funny, hearing them in the bar. Oh, we got this, we got this. What the hell are you doing for the team?
Yeah, our team won. Our team's got the best player. Blah blah blah. Yours? It ain't you. You what? You on the rolls?
I got my classic up. It's a 71 Lafayette Micro 723.
Well, the Micro Lafayette. Yep, sounding good. I'm on a Courier Centuriion 40D.
This is a Ranger 3300.
I'll tell you what, up on Facebook Marketplace, there is some awesome old radios.
Yeah, I know. I cruise there every once in a while and look, but I got too many as it is. I don't really need any more.
I just got two. I got a Bearcat 980, and then this Lafayette.
Well, if you want to see my radios, you got to go to YouTube Classic Radio Roundup and look at the video gates, and then you'll see my radios. They all get featured on, I rotate through.
Oh, I didn't know that even existed. Thank you for turning me on to that.
Well, there you go. So you check out the most recent one, which is tonight, which will be uploaded sometime tomorrow. You get to hear how you sound.
Cool.
Yeah, Classic Radio Roundup on YouTube. You'll find it.
I'm a duck out. I'll be back.
I was was on Marketplace earlier. There was a dual band. I can't even pronounce the damn name of it, but $20 in Colmar. Thinking maybe I might get that.
Oh, what, a VHF, UHF mobile rig or something?
Yeah,
Oh, you're an amateur too?
not yet.
Aha, I said. Yeah, I'm an amateur, and I left VHF, UHF, I don't know, probably 10 years ago now, and haven't looked back.
For $20, I looked it up on Amazon. It goes for $229. If nothing else, I can make a couple of bucks on it.
Oh yeah, for $20. Oh yeah, for $20, I probably would be hard pressed to pass it up myself.
So it says it's new in the box.
Somebody must not know what they have.
I love those guys.
Yeah, they probably think it's a, run-of-the-mill CB radio or something. Yeah, I love those people too that selling stuff they don't know what it is that they have.
Oh, it's getting harder, man. When I was doing it back in the 70s, you could pick up stuff all the time. It was fantastic. It was like you were on a treasure hunt. And then the internet came.
Yeah, I get it. It is getting a lot harder. Although in the early days of eBay, I used to go cruising through there looking for those kinds of things. Made a couple of good scores. I remember doing a search, by like radio names, manufacturer names, and just seeing what turns up. Well, this particular time, I put in Regency radios, and this business band Regency radio popped up. Gave a description of it. Came from our firehouse, and I don't know, it was like $10 or $20 or something like that. Comes with microphone, and there was a picture of the radio, which I don't want it, but the microphone was a Golden Eagle D104, including shipping. I got it for like $20.
There's one of them on Marketplace for, what is it, 200.
Yeah, I got mine for like $20, including shipping.
That's awesome. There's what is it, a gold, or not a Golden Eagle, but a Night Eagle on there for like 70.
That's not too bad a price for a Night Eagle.
Yeah, I don't go in for those collector stuff. I'm just looking for a decent D104.
Yeah. Well, I gave up on eBay years ago too because it got out of control and scamming, and it just got to be a mess. But in the very early days, it was pretty cool. I was buying and selling all kinds of stuff and doing well. But then the scammers took root and rules came about, and I just got fed up with it and got rid of the whole thing and ain't looked back.
Yeah, I got my account stolen like 3 times, and I'm done with it. I'm tired of kissing PayPal's ass to get my shit straight.
Yeah, I was doing it all before the PayPal took over, but I got robbed a couple of times because it was before the PayPal guarantee, and the buyers were always the winner and scam out the seller. So I got scammed out as a seller. And then when that whole PayPal thing came around, I got scammed out as a buyer. Like that was the last thing, man. That's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, I cruise Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Every now and again, you find something on Craigslist.
Yeah. Those seem to be a little bit better venues now, at least on Marketplace for the most part. It's reasonably regional or local, and you can drive and see what you're looking at. You don't have to worry about shipping and all that nonsense.
My biggest score on Craigslist was I picked up a free tennis court roller. It was a ride-on with a 5-horsepower Honda. I thought, if nothing else, I get a free engine out of it. And ended up taking that and didn't even unload it off the trailer. Sold it for $500 to a guy.
Oh, there you go. That's all right.
Yeah, I've picked up Traeger smokers that were in perfect shape off the side of the road. All kinds of stuff. I never forget to stop.
Yeah, I just don't get around like that like I used to, trash picking and whatnot. Although I do have a couple of trash picked radios that I used to go to the Kutztown Antique Radio Meet and sell and buy, and I would stay till the last minute, the end of the weekend, And there's always radios in the trash for trash picking, and I got a couple of them that way.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I usually go to flea markets, and I go twice. I go once right before, right as they open, and I go back right as they close and check the dumpster.
Yeah, right?
Free's free.
Yeah, but even flea markets ain't what they used to be either, because it's gone the other way where, people think that their junk is worth big money. They've gotten ridiculous. Like, I would give you $20 for that, but not 200.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You go to a flea market and you see vintage vibrators and shit, and it's like, this is collectible.
Yeah, everybody thinks their junk's worth a mint. It's just there's certain things that are worth some money. And just because the CB radio is old doesn't make it vintage collectible. Like every CB radio is not a collectible CB radio. I'm sorry.
Yep, things are rare for a reason. Either they didn't make it many, or it was a piece of shit.
Or even funnier is the radio that's not rare. Probably the most prolific radio ever out there is the Realistic 30A, and I always see them listed somewhere as rare. Like, dude, that's like the least rare CB radio there is.
Yep, they always had vintage, rare, classic, all the adjectives.
Right. You gotta put in the buzzwords.
They don't realize, that's rare for a reason, because a lot of people threw them out.
Yeah, and they weren't that good to begin with.
Yep, it's something. I'll tell you. I think we're just dumbing down the entire human race.
Right. The computers are getting smarter, but the people are getting stupider.
Yep, you got to be smarter than your computer, or it's going to rule your life.
Sadly, that's not the case, and common sense ain't so common.
Well, what they ought to do is they ought to sterilize everybody when you reach puberty, and make you take a test and meet minimum standards before you're allowed to breed.
Yeah, you need a license for everything. I think you ought to have a license to breed. Take some kind of civics test or something, and see if you're worthwhile to breeding. You got to have a license for everything else: a business, get married, drive a car, this, that, and the other thing. Operate radio. But no, you can make as many kids as you want, even if you're not qualified.
Yep, you need a license in Pennsylvania to cut a dog's hair.
Yeah, I have this thought that, you should have a dog before you're allowed to have a kid. And of course, on the flip side of that is, I feel sorry for the dog if they're an unqualified person. But if you can't handle a dog, you ain't allowed to have a kid.
Absolutely. And, I didn't feel that way when I was younger, but the older I got, the more and more I felt that way. It's like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Well, to kind of put that even more in perspective, I never really considered myself, a smart man. I know I'm not stupid, but I'm not the smartest guy to come along the pike neither. I know I'm in the middle of the road somewhere. But then I look around as I get older, I'm like, man, maybe I'm a little higher on the scale because there's a whole lot of stupid people.
There's no such thing as an old fool. You don't get old being a fool.
The planet is really full of some stupid people.
Well, all you got to do is read the warning labels. Every warning label you see, somebody tried that shit. There's a warning label on a curling iron that says it's for external use only, for Christ's sake.
No, I know. There was that meme floating around Faceplant, whether it's true or not, but the grain of truth is there where, back in the 50s and 60s, the car's owner's manual told you how to set the timing and adjust your valve lash and things like that. Now the owner's manual tells you, don't drink the battery water.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, whether that's actually in the modern, manual or not, I don't know. I'd have to go check my manual, but the truth of it still is real.
Absolutely. Look, they're eating Tide Pods.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just daggone ridiculous, you know? Give me a break. Well, that whole TikTok thing is designed for us to self-destruct anyway, and the Chinese sit back and laugh.
Jackass started all that shit.
Yeah, but you knew what it was. It was entertainment, and they filmed it for entertainment. It wasn't for you to emulate.
Yeah, but they didn't realize their audience was that stupid.
Well, there goes the show. There's a whole lot more stupid people below me. That puts me higher up on the scale somehow.
I watched a video of this kid, and he ran full speed with his head down into a freaking car door glass window to see if he could break it. And he ended up getting carted off with a concussion. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, yeah. The car window's gonna win. That's gonna leave a mark.
Stupid should hurt.
Yeah, well, that comes right back to all the warning labels. That's why there's got to be so many warning labels and everything, because people are really that dumb.
Hey, you want to fix it? Take the warning labels off and just let Mother Nature sort itself out.
Yeah, and you can blame the lawyers for all that too, because for every stupid thing somebody's done, well, they didn't warn me that it was dangerous, so somebody got sued over it.
I grew up in the early 70s, and, it was just a whole different world then. We didn't have warning labels. We had jungle gyms on macadam playgrounds.
Well, it sounds like we're the same age or near enough. But yeah, at least my playground did have dirt. We had dirt, and it varied in hardness, according to the time of the year, moisture content, whether it was frozen or grass or mud. So the hardness varied, but we had all those dangerous jungle gyms and merry-go-rounds and chain swings that went real high, and of course you had to leap off of them and all that kind of stuff. But nobody told us any of that stuff was dangerous.
Well, it wasn't dangerous to a normal child.
Well, there goes the air quotes. Was I a normal child? Well, I guess I must have been. I did survive.
That's it. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, we played army and cowboys and Indians, and we made guns out of our fingers, or brought toy guns in with us. With all the Boy Scout kids, we all had pocket knives all the time. When I was in high school, there was a hunting club and a rifle club at the school, and kids drove their pickup trucks to school with rifles and shotguns hanging in the back window of the pickup truck. And nobody ever got shot or even thought about using it to shoot another student. Are you kidding me? Now they've all lost their minds.
Yeah, we used to have our guns in the car because we deer hunted on the way to school.
I know, right? Yeah, plenty of people have guns in their cars, and nobody ever thought twice about it.
Nobody ever thought twice about it. Well, till some kid didn't get what he wanted and was raised as a spoiled brat and decided to flip out.
Yeah, but now it's like it started out, and now it just seems to be commonplace. It's like it's ridiculous.
That's because all this sensitivity shit. These kids are not. Well, what happened is they took all the bullying out. Because in elementary school, when you did something stupid or whined or bitched or pissed or moaned, somebody told you, shut the hell up. You're lucky.
Yeah, you got smacked around for it, and then you learn, well, maybe I shouldn't do that dumbass anymore because I keep getting smacked around for it, so maybe I'll change my ways. But yeah, not now that you do that, and it's considered bullying instead of character building.
Yep, but if you went to school with purple hair and a ring in your nose, you'd get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, or if you were a dude trying to, you start calling yourself a girl, you'd get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, that whole thing was a can of worms too. If you don't want to be discriminated against, shut the hell up.
You back, Wayne?
Say again?
Seeing if Wayne was back around.
I'm sort of here. I'm like holding my breath, Roger.
Roger, 10-4. Classic Radio Roundup. Yeah. Hazing and a little bit of bullying done in the proper amount is character building. But the problem is there's always that one case that carries it too far, and that's where the real problem lies. So instead of clamping down on the excesses, they just clamp down on everything and come out with that zero tolerance bull, and just ruined everything.
Absolutely.
You got to take it on as a case by case basis. You can't go zero tolerance. You can't use that zero tolerance rule on all these things. It just doesn't work. You got to judge it case by case.
Hey, I did 10 years in the military, and I remember being in basic training, and there was these dudes that just never took showers, and they stumped to high heaven. And I remember, a couple people throwing some bars of soap in a pillowcase. Yeah, they went and scrubbed those guys.
Well, thanks for your service. I did 10 years active, 10 in the reserves. And I was going to bring that up, too, about your rites of passage there. Because I got hog-tied and hung up in the boiler room. I was running boilers on ships when I was the new guy. Everybody got their turn at greasing. And depending upon how you handled that greasing was how they treated you from that point on. If you whined and cried like a bitch, well, they treated you like a bitch. If you dealt with it like a man, afterwards they treated you like a man. So it was all how do you deal with it? And then once you get through that, life was a little bit better. But yeah, I remember them non-shower dudes. We grabbed this one dude. He didn't shower. His sheets were all gray. Never changed his sheets or nothing. They snatched him out of his rack and threw him in the head. Scrubbed him with deck brushes with general purpose soap till he was raw. He started taking showers after that.
Hell yeah, I was Air Force, and we have to take this.
Yeah, I'm sure all that rites of passage, initiation stuff there in the military, it probably ain't much different from branch to branch. They all have their initiations and rites of passage and different jobs and different groups, but there's something involved. If you're a whiner, they're gonna treat you like a whiner, and you got to get through it. You just got to deal with it because you got to know who it is that you're working with. When the stress comes around and the mayor day hits the ventilator, you got to know who's around you and how they're going to deal with it.
Absolutely. That it's a character investigation, because when the shit hits the fan, you got to know whether the guy behind you's got your back or whether he's off running.
Exactly, and that's what that was all about. But now they've clamped down on all that too. No more hazing. Well, hazing was a character builder and a character check all wrapped up in one.
Well, now they say mean words to you and see if you cry.
Yeah, I wouldn't last 5 minutes in today's military. It was much better in the 80s.
Well, it was a joke for me. I mean, I had the drill instructor hollering at me and shit, and all I kept thinking about was my dad could make you cry.
Oh, boot camp was a breeze compared to being in a boiler room on a 9-month deployment out at sea on a ship. Let me tell you, and all that was kind of easy in comparison to how I grew up, taking care of helping my great aunt raise pigs on her pig farm and mucking out pig stalls. So once you clean pig stalls, everything is easy.
Absolutely. I mean, my father was one of 13. And my Dutch grandfather, they didn't have kids because they liked them. They had them because they were cheaper than hiring help.
Oh, yeah, that's the way that was back then, too. Yep. Yeah, well, Grandma had my great aunt, she had a lot of grandkids that floating around. And she paid pretty well, but she wanted the work done. It was pretty funny too, though, when I was on board ship and they first sent me down the bilges to clean bilges. A new guy, I'm like, hey, you guys think this is a bad job? Hey, I got no problem. I'll get down here and clean bilges. It smells much better than pig stalls.
My first job was cleaning a cage of 15,000 pigeons.
Yeah, that can't be fun neither.
Clean the stalls out, lay them out in the back of a dump truck to do an afternoon's work. But it was cool, but it was work. Break.
And there's the Joker on the Classic Radio Roundup.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, hang on a second there, Joker. I heard what Wayne said. I didn't hear what you said there, Fix It.
I said my first job out of high school was riding a spreader box on the back of a asphalt dump truck.
Yeah, so boot camp was relatively easy once you've been through some stuff to begin with. Who doubled with Fix It?
What was that?
Somebody doubled with you, and it wasn't Wayne.
I heard that too, wasn't me.
Who else is in there on a Classic Radio Roundup? Wants to check in. Countywide wants to know.
I thought it was funky. I'm just sitting here sandbagging.
Oh, is that the dog of green?
Hey, what's going on, boys? Yeah, I was just sitting back listening to your conversation. I had never served, but it sounds like it would have been pretty fun.
Yeah, well, it's easier to look at it as a good time in hindsight and all that. There was plenty of good times, but there was plenty of times that were a whole lot less than fun. But anyway, yeah, hello, Green Dog, checking in the Radio Roundup. Good to hear you on.
10-4, good to hear a good crowd out there and good conversation. I'm going to sit back and listen. 73s.
10-4, Roger, right on. All right there, Joker, it's your turn.
I just had the radio on for a little while. Finally was able to make it into the room, so I figured I'd say hello.
All right, well, we got you checked in, officially logged in the Classic Radio Roundup logbook.
And it's official.
It's not official until it's official.
Hey, Joker, it's Mr. Fix-It here. Remember that Lafayette I told you about? I hooked it up. I'm talking on it now.
10-4, is that 23 channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing sounds pretty good. And that's that one, like a 3-knob radio, no meter or nothing. Is that right?
Yeah, it's got the little swing meter on the side, but it doesn't do much.
Oh, it does actually have a meter. Because every once in a while, anyway, just as a footnote, we have a night on Classic Radio Roundup. We kind of announce in advance. We call it 3-knob radio night. So your most basic, volume squelch channel selector radio is the one to go to.
Gotcha. That's all it does have is 3 knobs, the little tiny meter. It's about 3/4 of an inch, and then a red LED.
Yeah, one of my 3-knob radios is I got a Cobra 19, 23 channel, no meter, but the daggone thing sounds really good on the air. I mean, I could fool people into thinking it's one of my better radios, but when I use that thing.
Oh, they're all better radios. Better than not having one.
Well, yeah, it's much better to have one than not. But it is kind of funny how some of these, very basic bare bones radios can really sound pretty good.
That's because they didn't enforce none of them stupid FCC laws back then.
Yeah, Sandbagger is more on the remembering what all the specs and rules were between pre and post 23 channel, or I should say pre and post 40 channel.
I remember that. I was pissed. I was on a 23 channel Midland with the battery pack. They hung on your shoulder, and I had sent off. I was like 13 years old, and I was all proud of myself for getting that license. And then they did away with them.
Yeah, I never actually had a CB license. I operated off of my dad's. Started out when I was 9 years old. And dad set my brother and I up with a base station. He actually never used it. He had a mobile radio, and he gave us the base because we were like, well, we could talk to you all to and from work, Dad. And he hooked us up. So we talked to Dad to and from work. Of course, a lot more than that. We started meeting people and talking late at night to, all our peers and whatnot.
Yeah, there was a bunch of us in junior high that had them and were talking all night.
Especially Friday and Saturday night. You can go into the wee hours.
I remember back when I was 13 years old and I had that damn Midland, I remember putting a Radio Shack antenna to the chimney of our three-story freaking farmhouse.
Yeah, we were on a 3-story Dutch Colonial on a pretty decent hill, considering the surrounding area and all, but a Radio Shack 5/8 wave ground plane on the top of a 3-story Dutch Colonial on a good hill. Yeah, we got out really well, and it was all stock. Nobody was running any power back then.
There was a few, because I'll tell you, I heard guys and I couldn't ever get back to them. But I just envisioned myself being 13 up there crawling around on a tin roof, 3 stories above the ground, and thinking, boy, they wouldn't let nobody do that now.
I guess I should rephrase that. None of my peers had any power. That's not to say that people in the 70s weren't running power, but none of my peers were. We didn't know anything about any of that.
Yeah, that was a big no-no in my household.
School with that had he had a Navajo sideband bass and a Moonraker 4 antenna and a 1,000-watt linear.
If you had a 100-watt linear in the 70s, you were a big radio.
I know, right? But he could turn that beam towards 422 and shut down Volkswagens because it was 74 was the first year they came out with the electronic ignition, and it was like an EMP pulse.
And the 70s on the street I grew up on, seemed like almost every third or fourth house had an antenna on it. And a guy about a block or 2 blocks away in a ranch house had a Moonraker 4 on the roof, and didn't really know what it was exactly at the time, other than it was called a Moonraker 4. And when he would point that thing up the street, he could shut us right down.
Wild times.
He was mostly a sideband talker, and I just knew he was on a channel talking sideband, and there he goes womp womping again, not knowing what that was all about.
Yeah, hey there, Joker. I'm gonna step back and let some other people in here. I've been talking for a while. I also got to go get some cigarettes.
10-4. Yeah, we were never allowed to have power. That was a huge no-no in my family. There was one guy in Upper Perk. Like all my buddies had CBs, and we talked to each other. There was one guy in Upper Perk right down near the high school. He had, I think back then he had a 500-watt something, and he was a big deal.
I didn't have my first linear until I wound up meeting up with Sandbagger and Renegade in the what was that, the early 90s. So they were the beginning of my downfall.
I didn't have one until I got back on, 4 years ago now?
Yeah, we did you right, didn't we?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it hooked me up with Log Splitter. I got a Boomer 150. That was my first one with a pair of, I think it was 454 or 55 MRFs.
I had a little Bishop 80-watt linear that worked just fine for me. Yeah, I was like one of the big boys.
Yeah, I got that Boomer 150 off a Log Splitter, and oh, that was it. The monster was released.
I got a Boomer 250 sitting here. I don't think it works anymore.
Wayne sold me my first base station antenna, and since using that Radio Shack ground plane that moved around from house to house, and when I went a number of years without a base setup, then I got my house and got my antenna off of Wayne. Getting on the air with my unco-phased trucker antennas on the roof of my house.
Hey, remember we were up there playing with them and it started snowing?
Oh yeah, well, antennas always work better after you put them up while it's snowing. Then I got licensed, and that antenna farm on that roof of that house grew. And I started making the Spitfire-made dipoles.
I know it was great when you were there because I could look out my back window and look right down and see your antenna.
That was near a straight across. And we were able to work on each other from 160 meters to 70 centimeters or something on every band.
Every band, yep.
There wasn't nothing in between us except that power plant island.
Last time I went by, they're doing something to that island, but I don't know what. I think they knocked the building down, but they were starting to build something new. But I haven't been there for a long time now.
Yeah, I was by there not all that long ago, and I didn't see anything being built there. But they knocked that power plant down a number of years ago now.
Which one are you guys talking about?
What was the name of that island? I don't remember the name of the island. It has a name. But when you go over the bridge between Norristown and Bridgeport, right there in the Schuylkill River.
Yeah, I don't remember the name either. Okay, yeah, I know the location. I don't know if I ever knew there was a power plant in there.
Yeah, and then there's a railroad bridge that kind of goes diagonal across the river right there. Well, that railroad bridge used to deliver coal to the power plant that was there.
Oh, it was called Barbados Island.
That's it, Barbados Island. Yeah, now that you say it, I remember.
Sounds tropical, then you realize it's Norristown.
That's right.
That's Bridgeport, right? That's not Norristown.
Bridgeport on one side, Norristown on the other side. The Danahower Bridge.
I haven't been down that way in a long time.
Yeah, well, there used to be a power plant right there on that island.
Learn something new every day. I don't remember exactly when, but it was like back in the 80s. There was a young kid about 12 years old using a hand line underneath the little bridge that went to Barbados Island and caught the state record muskie.
Yeah, that's a popular fishing spot right along there.
You hear about record, fish being caught in certain places, and sometimes it's amazing. Well, these little dinky little spots.
That's actually pretty deep water right there, because just on the other side of the bridge downstream is a dam there. So that dam was put there, so there was a higher water level there. So the power plant had cooling water.
to look over that way next time I get down that area. I've been meaning to go down to Sam Ash one of these days. Just haven't had the energy.
Around 1990, either 89, 90, 91, something like that, that river froze over in the wintertime, and it was a good solid, couple 3-week freeze. It was frozen solid. And my husky dog and me and my mini bike went cruising all over the river right there, all around that island.
I walked across the river when I was frozen then too.
Yeah, the dog was running along with me, chasing me on the mini bike. That was fun. Holy cow, that's over 30 years ago now. Don't! Classic Radio Roundup, the Remember When session.
I think I remember that kind of stuff better than I remember what I did yesterday now.
I hear you. I'm the same way. I can remember what I did 30 years ago, but don't ask me what I had for lunch yesterday.
Don't ask me why I walked into the room.
Oh, yeah, I hate it when I'm on a cruise. I'm on my mission. I'm going into the other room to get something. Then I get there and forget what I was in such a hurry to go get.
I like that in the garage when I'm working on stuff. It's funny, I'm working on something, I got the tools, and I forget where I just sat something. But if I need a stupid little screw or a wire connector or something just really random, I know where that is in the toolbox that I haven't touched in 30 years.
You know what drives me nuts when I'm working on something in the garage, and whether it's a part or a tool, whatever it is, you put it down and you go and do something else, and now you come back for what it was that you put down, and you didn't leave the room, but now you can't find it.
Yep, and then you spend all this time looking for it, then you realize something fell on it, or the towel the rag or towel you were using, you sat on it, and it was underneath that.
Yeah, so much time wasted looking for something that you just placed down in the room. You never left the room, so you know it's there, but you can't find it.
You did that when I was over your place once.
I'm sure I did that more than once.
One of my big downfalls is I put stuff in a safe place so I know where it's at, and then I usually forget where that safe place was.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. This will be a safe place. It won't get lost. Time goes by. All right, I need it now. It's in a safe place. But where was that safe place?
And then if it's something replaceable, you replace it, and then you find what it was.
Yeah, and then you're looking for something. You're turning everything over. You go in this room, you go in that room. Turn the place upside down looking for something. You can't find it. And then you give up. Well. And then you move on to something else. Now when you don't need it anymore, a few months later, you find it. Well, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, that happens way too often.
Can't find it when you're looking for it, but when you're not looking for it, there it is.
I don't have to worry about that anymore. I left everything I had in ours down.
Yeah, you've got nothing left to look for.
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't have anything, you don't have to look for it.
I got a few things. I got some radios and stuff, But, yeah, I don't have to look for a lot of stuff anymore. I left it in ours down.
And you essentially only have 2 rooms now. So there's only a few places. There's only a couple places that it can be.
I've been doing that lately with the amount of stuff I have in my basement from my grandma's and my dad's place. Like, I'm going through everything and organizing it, and then I'll open up another box, and I'm like, oh, I should put this with that stuff that matches it, and then I can't remember where the box was or where the other stuff that would go with it goes. So then I'm tearing all the other boxes apart, and by that time I'm usually forgetting what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's what I hate about spaced out organization. Because now you found something that goes with that grouping, but you don't know where that grouping of stuff is placed.
Yeah, I've definitely started inventorying and writing on post-it notes what's in the box, and then taping it to the outside of it. But then sometimes I forget to tape it on the side that's going to be facing out, and I'll tape it on the top, so I still have to pull the stack of boxes down. But one of these days I'll get organized.
Yeah, I've been saying that for 30 plus years.
Yeah, if you look at this radio room right now, it's a complete mess of boxes and, yeah, stuff I'm trying to get organized with.
Then you got the pile of stuff that you may do something with again someday. It's not worth throwing away. It's not worth really selling, but you may do something with it, so you're going to hold on to it. And then you trip over that for 30 years.
I might need sections. Yeah, that's another big downfall of mine. And another huge downfall, because I was trying to sell some stuff on eBay a little while ago, try to lessen my clutter, and I realized that it's collecting nice boxes has become what's that called? I think that's become a disease for me. I can't let a nice box get thrown out.
That's a good box. Good heavy duty box. I could use that. I'll have to put that off to the side.
Yeah, I probably have, it's probably 8x8 square in my basement stacked halfway to the ceiling of boxes.
Well, if I ever need a good box, I know where to ask.
Yep, and then some of them are cut open and folded flat, stuck inside boxes that fit each other, and then some of them are taped shut with packing peanuts or the air pockets or dunnage. Yeah, I mean it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I get it. I do. Trust me. All right, my heater just came on. That means I'm lacking in stuff in the wood stove. I don't like the heater to come on, so let me go stuff the wood stove. I'll be back. Countywide Classic Radio Roundup.
Yeah, speaking of, I got a few other things to do, then I'll be back. And or if it goes too late, I might not be back. So if I don't talk to you guys in a few minutes, I'll talk to you later.
All right, Joker, night train standing by.
Good evening. How'd that go? Good evening, good night.
Yeah, hello, goodbye. But at any rate, I'm here. I was sandbagging, but I had a little bit of homework to do.
10-4. Yeah, I'm in the midst of doing a bunch of stuff like usual, unfortunately. So I should be back on in a little bit.
Roger that, me too. Hello out there, Wayne.
Hello, night train.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay now.
You sound pretty good. You sound like your health is on the right track, right?
Yeah, I went out to McDonald's on Sunday. I figured I went down, get a burger and fries. So I got just about home, and a cop twirls me over. Here my registration had run out, but I had the application sitting right here on the coffee table. So as soon as he gave me a warning and let me go, I had it registered, an hour later from online. And then Monday, I got my card for my photo license finally, because my regular driver's license was ready to expire. I went down to the photo center on Monday and took care of that, so I'm all legal now.
All right, well, you did well because I had to have the same thing happen to me, where the tag expired, and it was Uchland Township, and they slapped a $200 and something fine on me, and I appealed it and didn't win, man. So I took a beating all the way around. 10-4.
Oh man, that really sucks. Now this guy was nice. He pulled me over and asked me if I knew why he pulled me over. I said nope. And he said, oh, your registration expired. He says, show me your registration. And he showed me right there. It expired the end of the month, January 31st. So I wasn't that far off. So, and like I said, I had the application right here. I just went home and used my debit card and paid the fee, and I'm good for another year.
Yeah, that part's good. Well, unfortunately, I had a mean little tiny Asian police officer. She was real short and tiny, and she was the man. 10-4.
Who do what?
Yeah, you missed that? You missed all of that?
I missed it, but it was like confusing.
All right, use your imagination. There's a little tiny Asian female officer. She was short, you could just pick her up. You know, I mean, she's a little tiny thing. You know, all decked out with the gun and everything. And she was the man. She had that to prove, and I didn't stand a chance, man.
Now this guy was a local cop, and like I said, I told him I live right here at the trailer park, and I pointed up to my trailer. I said, live right there. And he says, okay, take care of it, and I went and took care of it. So, but he was a nice guy. He says, okay, I'll give you a warning. Here's your license and stuff back.
Yeah, well, she got me good, and I appealed it. And the court date was like on the 7th of February. Then I went in and she was there, man. And I said, to the judge, I said, it was an emergency, the fact that I was using that particular vehicle in the first place. And then number two, I said it would have been, to me within reason if she would have just given me a warning and I could have taken care of it, as opposed to paying this giant fine. And she sat there, and the judge said that would be something that you would take up with the police department itself. And of course, she was there, and she had something to prove. 10-4.
Oh, I got it now. Yeah, you can't win with somebody like that.
Now you put it on. Yeah, she was a little tiny thing, and I was sitting way up there in the truck. Not the truck that I came to see you in, but the other one that sits, high, and, oh, man. I was just a victim, man. I was a victim. 10-4.
Anytime I got napped was down in North Carolina. I went from a highway where the speed limit was 55 to a place where it was 70. Well, I mean the other way around. I went from 70 down to 55, and I was doing 70 passing a tractor trailer, and Stady got me.
Yeah, that happened to me before too, in Virginia. 10-4. Alexandria.
Yeah, I was lucky. They sent me a notice in the mail, and I paid like a $240 fine, and I looked out because I was doing 90, and an officer wrote me up I was doing 65.
So he cut you a little break?
Yeah, he cut me a break, and like I said, as soon as I got the notification, I sent the money in and paid the fine.
Yeah, so I had to pay this fine. I'm just going to write it off as a business expense because, it was about work. So I'll write it off as a tax write-off.
I couldn't do that. But I just paid the fine, and everything was good after that.
Roger that, yeah. Yeah, man, so... Yeah, I'm playing classic radio, and Bagger didn't even show up tonight.
Wasn't here Sunday either. He's usually on side bad Sunday.
Yeah, I wanted to share this particular piece with him because it's real old, old tube radio, man. I just wanted to know how it sounded and everything. You know what I'm saying? Classic radio roundup.
Yep, I hear you.
How does it sound anyway, Wayne?
Sounds pretty good. Your tone quality could be better, could be a little bit sharper, but yes, you sound good.
All right, I'd rather be dull than to be too sharp there, 10-4.
Well, you got your wish then.
Roger. Yeah, I don't like it to be too bright, Roger.
I know, but it keeps me low.
Oh my goodness, what was that? What was that, Wayne, you know?
That was, what's his face? It was just here.
It sounded like Pete.
That was my phone. I had headphones on and I got too close to a microphone.
Who was it? That you, Joker?
Yeah, it's me.
Tell me how this one sounding, Joker.
It was Joker. King of the feedback. You should hear me at shows. No, I was gonna say it sounds like normal.
Hey, Roger, yeah. This is the first time on the air with this particular piece. 10-4.
Roger, what is it?
It is a general radio telephone. MC6. And I used to have an MC11, and I put it in the shop years ago, and never seen it again. 10-4.
Okay, so does that actually have the phone headset?
No, that's just the name of the company, General Radio Telephone. General Radio Telephone Company. That's the name of it didn't have nothing to do with a telephone. I don't know why they did that, but I guess maybe back in those days, who knows, they might have even made car phones. But it was a little shop out in California working out of a garage, and they built these radios, and they're kind of rare. 10-4.
10-4. Sounds interesting. Is it a big radio or is it a smaller radio?
It's actually small, but it's packed. 10-4.
Roger. Tube?
Yeah, you know it's tube. Yeah, it's tube. I'm going to send you a picture of it. There's some mobiles underneath of it to give you an idea how big it is.
10-4, you have to take a look at it. So, speaking of microphones, that's what I was playing with, and I got close to it when I went up to this microphone. So I ordered it came in today, my Neumann TL103 clone.
Oh, wow. If it's a clone, I would take it that they made it in Japan or China.
Got me a big old Newman.
Yeah, man. Got me a Hummer.
Well, it's funny because it's assembled and there's a guy up in New York who's making these. He does quite a few different clones. The TL, I keep getting them mixed up. The 103s, which is the shorter bodied style. Then he makes the U87s, which is the big, what everybody says is the Neumann. But he builds them up in New York, and I got it used off of eBay really cheap, which is why I bought it. And it's funny because I open it up, and I have to take it apart and look at it. So I take the microphone apart to see what's inside of it, and it's scary because it's just it looks dinky. I mean, there's nothing quality looking about it. But I was doing some comparisons, and it for what it is, it actually sounds really good compared to other microphones for, you know, low expectations of what was inside of it.
Was it a ribbon microphone? Was it a ribbon? Or, you know, what kind of element we're talking here?
It's a standard condenser. It's a large diaphragm, but it only looks, you know, it's not a, it's, I don't think it's 1 inch or even 34 millimeters, which might be, no. Yeah, it's a condenser, but it's weird because it has a transistor on the back side of it, of the element, which is weird. And then the circuit board, it's the size of, you know, a 9-volt battery inside. That's all printed, you know, the printed circuit board kind of thing. And the real Neumanns, they have, you know, large capacitors, and yeah, it looks like a quality piece of gear. But this is all, I mean, it looks chintzy and cheap, but it sounds good. I'm actually very surprised on how good it sounds.
Yeah, so just don't open it up. Don't be peeping in there, Trevor.
What?
I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody else on this channel at the moment has the same issue that I have. Is when I get something, I'd like to see what's inside of it.
Yeah, maybe. Trevor. Well, I'm just teasing you, and I said, don't be looking in there.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure everybody I'm speaking to right now has that same gene in their body where when they get something, they have to look inside.
Man, let me tell you, when I was a little boy, I used to have to open up my sister's toys and stuff to see how they work. This one little doll used to crawl across the floor. I opened that rascal up. I said, I'm going to see how you work. You know, because that thing be coming across the floor, man. It be done chased you out of the room.
Yeah, my grandparents and parents used to, whenever they would get me stuff, it was always, now don't take this apart.
Same here. Don't tear it up. But I didn't know how it worked. Them little trains with the little man with his head popping. And a little whistle. And then ding, 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 ding. And he stick his head out every so many seconds. You know what? I got to find out how this works.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure everybody speaking on this channel at the moment has that same, which is probably why we're doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah, we're part of that. We were part of those type of people that would have done that, you know, without controversy.
Yep. Well, speaking of microphone playing, I gotta step back. I'm still playing with microphones here. But that's an interesting radio. I saw the picture. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's probably like from 1963 or something like that. And it was already refurbed. It only got about 8 channels for transmit. But the receiver, you can dial 23 channels. So I can receive on any of the 23 channels, but as far as like transmit, you gotta get a crystal and stick it in the front, or you get 8 crystals on the inside. So, but I'm alright with that. I bought it for Classic Radio Roundup Temporary.
Yeah, totally understand that. That's cool though. It's neat looking radio. Looks very, what's that, utilitarian.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I like. You should have a red light on it somewhere.
Yeah, it's inside. It's called a tube.
Yeah. So he recapped it and everything, and replaced any tubes. We got a brand new power cord for it. You know, that thing has about 16 plugs on the end of it, so you know it's not nothing simple. But I had one before, and I sent it out to be worked on, and I never got it back.
That sucks. That's the scary part of sending stuff away. But all right, I'll be back.
Damn, boy. Channel clear, train on the side.
Yeah, a whole lots of comings and goings.
Hey, countywide.
Radio!
This is the General Radio Telephone. MC6.
10-4 on the General Radio Telephone. Yeah, they were always good-looking ones, but always seemed to be a little bit too pricey.
Yeah, because there's not that many of them. They were hand-built, in a little garage out in California.
Well, all the tube radios were hand-built. There wasn't no machines doing it.
No, I mean, there was like a couple guys that started a business in the garage, and they were building these little things. And they became kind of popular, and then after a while they went out of business. There's a little story that goes with them.
Yeah, I think the Utica radios were somewhere along the same lines. They weren't real big, but they were high quality, and they didn't last very long.
What you mean when you say it didn't last long?
They made a Utica Town and Country 1, 2, and 3. I know of no other Utica models.
All right, I think these people went up to 11, and that was it. And I wish that I knew somebody that could convert it so that the VFO would transmit. You know how you do with the trams?
Well, the D201s, I don't think you can do that with the Titan or the Titan 2. They got, a tunable VFO, but I don't think you can make the transmit work off of that.
No. Oh, they go bangers.
Oh, you are here.
I'm here now.
Well, better late than never, they say.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Welcome to the Classic Radio Roundup.
Well, that's right. You weren't here last week there, Train. I know. I was somewhere. I can't even remember now. But I was somewhere. 10-4.
You can always catch up on last week's events on YouTube on the Classic Radio Roundup channel.
All right, 10-4. Are you getting the night, Pete?
It's a big 10-4, good buddy, with my Courier Centuriion 40D.
Very good radio. What's your running, Bagger? Midland 13898B. I didn't really have time to select a different one, so this one was still on the bench, so it gets the honors once again.
Well, Train's got one. This is the first time I've heard it. It sounds good.
What sounds good?
Tell him, Train.
General Radio Telephone MC6. Oh, neat. When did you get that? I didn't sneak it in. I got busted for it. But I let it sit in the box for a while after, it cool off. 10-4. Is that the one? That's 23 channel, right? 23 channel receive, but not transmit. You can stick a crystal in the front for whatever channel you want, but it only has like slots for 8 crystals on the inside, somewhat like the early Lafayette's. So I just got maybe 4 channels here, and but the VFO receives on all 23.
Yeah, that's, like the Utica or the Metrotex. You got 6 or 8, whatever, transmit channels, but you got a tunable receiver.
A lot of radios were that way back in the day. What microphone are you using? That is the Turner Plus 3B, and that's what he sold with the radio. He's lucky you got 13 on there. I asked him, that was the terms and conditions of the sale. Now, I know this guy. He's out of Colorado, and he likes to rebuild old radios and recap them, etc., etc. In fact, that's where I got my Lafayette HB444, and that's also refurbished. He likes to put all new caps and things in them and build new power cords, and I guess he's like a older gentleman. And then he puts them on. Every now and then he'll put one on. So this one is completely recapped. And the microphone came with it, 10-4. Not a bad deal.
Does that one have the tone, what do they call that, a call signal?
No, a bullhorn, bullhorn or transmit or transceiver. No tone, no. If it is, it might have been an option that would win the back.
I know some of the older general radio telephone radios had this, what do they call it, tonal alert or call signal or something, and it's a relaxation oscillator, and it sounds like a birdie when you hit it. It goes.
My Polycom had an optional tone, whatever, like PLL, Privacom, I think they called it, or something like that. That was an option you could plug in.
Well, that was a whole different thing. That's a selective call unit. This was like a I don't know, an attention getter kind of thing. The early general radio telephones had it in there, and then at some point they stopped. I was thinking the 6 or the 7 might have still had it, but I guess this one doesn't.
No, the MC11 is the one to really go after because it has 23 channels, crystals. The other ones are a little bit more readily available, like the 5 and the 6. But I'm alright because I bought it for Classic Radio Roundup, and I asked him. I said, "Listen, do you have the crystal for 13? That's the only way. In other words, it won't be profitable for me to have it unless you got it 13." And guess what? 271151.
Yeah, that's good. I think that thing would probably sound even better with a D104. A little bit more high end would be nice.
Yeah, I would probably have to have somebody to wire it for me because I wouldn't know the configuration. It almost looked like a tram setup. I wonder, is it a tram setup?
Well, it's got that crazy looking 4-pin that the trams have.
Jax doesn't it?
Double.
No, it's not the big Amphenol, but it's the one that goes in and then screw on, like the tram 201 series. Look like that.
Yeah, the crazy looking skinny 4-pin.
Yeah.
What's that switch between the volume and the crystals?
One says bullhorn or transceiver, and the other little switch is a spot switch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta have a spot switch. Well, you don't have to, because the Utica don't. But the Metrotechs do.
Roger that. So it's a little bassy, Bagger?
Yeah, it's a little bassy. What happens when you put it in the bullhorn position? Is that their way of saying PA? That's what I said too. Could use a little bit more oomph.
I would translate that to PA.
Bullhorn turns it into a PA. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah, that's how that translates for me.
Well, it's kind of cute. Or maybe I'm a little far back. Do you think if I got a little bit closer, about right here, maybe a little bit better? Or you think I should back off on the mod?
Well, I'd back off from the microphone. That'll give you more depth.
All right, yeah. Let's just try something, man. Maybe we can back off on. There we are. Back off on a little bit of that too. Come on back.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, it doesn't change the tone quality all that much. It needs a little bit more high end.
All right, yeah. I don't know how to get it. I wonder if I put one of my D104s on the air. Will it work or will I hurt something?
I don't see how it could hurt anything.
Well, let me give it a shot.
It'll either work or it won't work.
Oh, well, you're going to use one of the ones for the tram because it's the same plug. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, let me give it a shot. See what happens.
Got 50-50 chance. take your chances on Classic Radio Roundup.
Roll the dice, and there's Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne and I have been holding the fort down for the most part.
Did Blue Max ever get in there?
Never heard Blue Max, but Wayne's been in here all night.
That's a good thing. Did Blue Max promise to come in? Yeah, he did. He left me a note. Or actually, I think he made a post on Grumpy's forum and said he was going to try to get in there. But I told him, I said, I probably won't be, at least not for a while. I had places to go tonight, but, you know.
Yeah, I kind of figured that the date and the wife superseded Classic Radio Roundup for tonight.
No, actually, that wasn't the case. It was my sister-in-law's birthday.
Oh, so I was wrong, but it was a good guess.
Yeah, that would have been a good guess.
I've been known to be wrong more than once.
Yeah, well, none of us are perfect.
Well, I don't claim to be perfect, so you can't give me that.
No. And of course, my beam now is completely, totally frozen in place because I disconnected the rotor cable because I'm getting a new roof put on it at some point. I had to take all my antennas off the roof. I don't have the 40 meter up anymore. I don't have the 6 meter up. My tri-band VHF antenna is down, and so the only thing that's still up is the CB beam, which is on the back of the garage. But I had to take the rotor cable down because it was draped across the roof. So.
Oh no! How are you gonna pirate radio spot on Sunday nights?
No, I can't do pirate radio spotting. It sounds good over here.
I can do pirate radio spotting.
Oh yeah, you got yourself squared away there, Wayne?
Oh yeah, well for receive, yeah, no problem.
Oh, good.
You gotta join us on pirate radio spotting on Sunday nights. Somebody's gotta check it out with me.
Can I get a radio check, Nick?
I just gotta hook up my antenna tuner to my ICOM, and then I'm okay. I can listen on this radio, and then rock on the other one.
Yeah, you said it.
They can't hear me though.
That's bullshit. All that audio you got can't hear us. They all hear you.
Hello, 123. Hey, 123, I hear you.
Oh wow, who's that?
See? You see that?
Countywide.
Spitfire, hi. I didn't think you could hear me unless I get up on the hill. But you damn racist.
My receive range. Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah, you know I can hear you up here. I got the video gate proof I can hear you up here.
Okay, you can hear him. Can you hear me? I gotta jump out though real quick. I just wanted to get in there because I heard Funky.
No, I'm a racist.
Yeah, he don't hear Funky though. He don't hear.
Because I'm a racist.
All right, put on your little big brother. I'm getting up. We all hear you, man. Don't worry. I know they hear you. They listen. Trust me. When I'm G, nobody's gonna say they hear me. They don't hear me. See, I'll be on the gate too. They don't hear me. Spitfire, tell me you can't hear him.
I can't hear anybody but you, 123.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Oh, that's too much, man. That is too much. You gotta stop playing politics, man. Listen. He give me 9 pounds. I'm under 400 bird watts right now. If he giving me 9,
Bird watts.
probably this bird. That's politics. He bullshit. He's playing with you. No, he ain't playing with me. It's a bird watts. It's politics. It's Democrats and Republicans and which other parties? I forget the other parties.
Politics ain't got nothing to do with it. It's accusations that are unfounded and untrue. It's got everything to do with it. But it ain't politics.
You heard that, huh? You heard that, huh? Yeah, he heard that. You see that? You see that? My goodness. That's fucked up. And the crazy part is,
just straightening out the record.
I'm playing because I'm a Super Bowl guy and they think I'm a skip shooter. But if you actually got to know me, came to my house and met me, just like, you know, I know you guys, them guys wouldn't act like that. They treat me like shit for no reason.
No, not at
No,
all.
that ain't true. Come on. Come on, guys. Do you see it's true? Do you see it's true? Listen, no bogus fives. No bogus fives. Do you see it's true? You're listening. Do you see it? I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I can't believe it. I'm not shocked. I be trying to tell y'all guys all the time. I be trying to tell y'all. He heard that, but he don't hear me, your conversation. And you're telling him you don't believe it, and he don't even want to address it. He don't even want to address it. But he heard what I said a few minutes ago, but he can't hear me now. Bullshit. All right, I don't want to get in the middle of that. I don't know what's going on there. I know that ain't right. I know that ain't right. No, don't get in the middle of it because there's no middle. There is no middle. There is the beginning and the end, and there's no middle. I didn't do nothing to him or the friends or nobody else. I never did nothing to them guys. The only thing these guys on the radio can say is
short memory.
Try to help everybody. I never did nothing to them. Oh, man. What the heck is going on out here?
Oh, man.
To you? Have I ever did anything wrong to you? No, man. No, that's messed up. I don't know. That's Classic Radio Roundup. I didn't know it was Monday Night Fight. No, Wednesday Night Wig Out. I don't know. Like 4-3-3.
That's right. It's Classic Radio Roundup, not Wednesday Night Wig Out.
He did it to his buddies. But I know you're not like that. I don't know. You know me personally. You've been in my house. You've been in my house, right? Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, you've been in my house several times. So what happens is everybody thinks I'm a shit. Oh man.
Yeah, I think I might be stopping the video gate and editing this part out because this ain't it.
You probably just talk to him and now this will not happen. And they treat me like shit. So you're actually.
He's got a short memory. We never did nothing. He never did nothing. He seems to have a short memory because he did do something.
What did you do? Well, tell everybody what I did. He accused you of something that isn't true. Tell everybody what I did then. Tell everybody.
All right, I'll tell everybody. Since you seem to have a short memory, you accused me of being something that I'm not. And I didn't take too kindly to that, and you wouldn't hear no rebuttal. So figure I'm just not going to get into it because you're not going to believe what I say anyway. So I'm just not going to say anything. That's the last thing I'm going to say about it.
Well, if I accuse somebody of you being something that you wasn't, then I sincerely apologize. I didn't mean it, and maybe that maybe that was my personal thoughts at the time. Maybe they were my personal thoughts at the time, but, if I don't know you personally, and you never said who you were, because I don't know who you are right now. So if you never said who you were, then I don't know how to defend myself.
Well, I'd really like to get past all that because this is Classic Radio Wednesday, not hash out dirty laundry day. So we don't need to get into all kinds of dirty laundry. If you want to get in here and join us and have a chat and Classic Radio Roundup, you're more than welcome. If you want to have a Wig Out Wednesday, this is not the place for Wig Out Wednesday.
Definitely. I always do the Classic Roundhouse. I was actually one of the first people that started. You can ask your friend that started. I'm actually one of the first people that started. So, have a debate. I was just trying to prove a point. Well, I heard an apology. I didn't hear any acceptance.
Well, I accept his apology. If he said something he didn't mean, he probably shouldn't have said it in the first place. But that's why things are the way they were, because we don't put up with nonsense and ridiculousness here on Classic Radio Wednesday. Any other day or any other channel, you can do what you want. But our Wednesday nights is our time to relax, have fun, joke, lampoon, talk technical, talk about whatever. But beating each other up, we don't do that.
The guy that started it is a good friend of mine. And everybody that knows Funky Ground
Started what?
knows where I live at. Take credit for starting Classic Radio Roundup. They know Funky Ground playing ain't like that.
Are you trying to take credit for starting Classic Radio Roundup? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'm not trying to take credit. See. You're trying to create smoke and mirrors. There's no smoke and mirrors here.
I just asked a question. I didn't mean nothing by it because the founding 2 members of Classic Radio Roundup are right here on the channel.
Okay. So if they're right here on the channel, can you ask them who I am? Because half of them been to my house and they know me personally. Obviously, you've never been to my house and you don't know me personally, and you must have something personal with me. If you have something personal with me, then say it.
All right, obviously this ain't getting nowhere, so I'm going to call it a night. 7-3, have fun. See you next Wednesday. Countywide Radio going out of way.